Hi, this is Gavin. My website's hickorygolf.co.uk. I was just about to whip up the neck of this old wooden shafted club. It's actually a replica that I've made, and I thought, good opportunity to just show people how I do it. Okay, so the first thing is you want to wedge the end of the shaft in somewhere so that it's quite secure. Now, what we're always going to do is whip up from the narrowest to the widest part, and that's so that the twine will blend nicely together and not separate and have gaps between the different strands, as it were. Okay, so this piece of twine that I've already covered it in some black pitch, what's called. It's a tar, so it's a little bit sticky on the fingers. And one of the secrets is just having the right consistency of pitch. Okay, so I'm down at the narrowest point here, and I place a piece onto the shaft facing towards the head. I then wrap round twice before putting any real tension, and the stickiness of the tar means that you don't really need any glue below this, although if you really were bothered you could put some glue of some kind below it. Okay, now the trick is, if you've watched my other video on gripping hickories, is it's all in how you hold things. It's the stance and the grip, just like golf really. So I've got the butt end hard up against something, and then with my left hand here I'm actually can pull and keep tension on the twine, as I wind, and I can just literally wind it up and it goes on very, very easily. But you've got to keep the twine under a bit of tension. Now typically it is mixed in with my microphone cable, but we'll keep on going. Right. So I've got to a point now where I've run out of a length of pitch that hasn't been covered in the pine tar. So I get my block of pine tar, which is this big thing here, and I simply pull the twine through it or along the edge of it, and that just smears on enough. Okay, so that's another bit covered. Right, I don't know how much left I've got. Probably about 6 foot more, which should be enough. Okay, so I'm going to then put that back up there, the end. Again, adopt my stance, so it's coming through the crook of my arm. I can pull on the left by the left hand, and I can wind. Oh, and that was just a bit there where it just went slightly off, so you just unwind it slightly, reposition it, and then rewind it and keep on going. Okay, I think I've come to another bit where it needs a bit more of the tar on it. So people call this either pitch or tar. I don't quite know what's the absolutely proper term. I think the old pros probably called it pitch. Okay, got perhaps about 2 inches worth. I've done about 2 inches worth, probably got about 2 inches left to cover. I've got this coming through on it's actually attached to a big spool that's coming off the workbench. Right, I've reached the end where, again, I need some more pine tar on there. I don't know the exact length that would be needed in terms of the twine to cover the whole of this scare neck joint, but I guess it might be as long as something like 12 feet. Right, that's another couple of feet on there probably. Again, secure the butt end of the shaft back in its firm place. Grab it with the left hand and wind on. Then when you're about 3/4 of an inch from the tip of the shaft there, which is just there, I'll just position that so the camera can see it. So there's the end of the shaft, just there, and that's where I've got to on my whipping. So now I'm going to get a length of whipping that, as I said earlier in my regrip video, it's just a length of thin whipping called a thread puller. I lay that underneath or on top of what I've already done with the loop facing up towards the head, and place the single bit over the top of it. Now I need to do a little bit more here of tar onto the whipping. I've probably only got about 3 or 4 turns to go, so I'm not going to need more than probably 12 inches or so, but we'll see. Oop, drop the thread puller. Right, back in, back on top, loop facing upwards, so you're pulling the thread puller downwards. That's quite an easy mistake to make, is to put it on. And these last few turns, last 4 or 5, 6, I do by hand. Okay, so I've got that now. Cut off the end of the main bit of twine. Now, a little trick, just unwind that enough so it's not absolutely tight, because with this thick twine, and because it's covered in pitch, it gets very, very sticky, and sometimes you can actually wind it a bit too hard, and I probably wound that a bit too hard initially, too tight, so it's not going to pull through. So rewind it just a bit slacker, put that through there, into the loop, pull the loop down so that the main bit of twine goes underneath and pulls through. Now I could pull that all the way through, or once I've got enough sticking through, I can just snip it with a pair of scissors. Okay, so there you should be able to see this is the end bit of the twine that came through, and these are the 4 turns that are just holding it in place, and that's it. Now all I'd have to do is take something smooth, run it up and down the twine, and that's it. The job's done. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can either send me an email at info@timewarpgolf.com or visit me on my website, which is hickorygolf.co.uk.